purpose holding this press conference is to launch our organization, contractors, and to highlight how this administration treats small contractors. I delayed payments for the past 2 years, and this is a clear indication to demonstrate the manner in which this government treats us. Permit us to give a brief history. Before let me just introduce the members representing the contractors here. On my extreme left is RS Blue, Junior Fabian Crichton, Hippolyte, Cleophas, on his absence, unavoidable, and RS Rev Mechanical Engineering, and I represent the GDR Construction. So as I said, permit us to give a brief history. They use us to vote and refuse to pay nearer to a by-election, which was emergency works, claiming that work was done and set done by the Minister Suresh Ramachan and Minister Devan Maharaj, who was responsible for them under the URP Agriculture and Law Program. The government depriving contractors of payment and acting ridiculous. In these circumstances, we are here to launch our organization of Contractors Association. When we legalize it, we will get back on to you. Also, our Facebook page, Trinidad Government Contractors, as you'll see, has been up on the screen here. And this page, you have the photographic evidence highlighting the unethical behavior of this government towards contractors. As I take you through our slide presentation showing documentary evidence of works completed, I hope you would understand the injustice that we as small contractors have faced under this administration. Officials and ministers sign the various pieces of documents and now disclaiming they don't know anything about it. Please pay close attention as we make our presentation, and as we have on the slide here, you will see that this is a list of the contractors as we would identify to you earlier on. The name of the 6 contractors, and we were responsible for doing 70 projects in total throughout the country. And those areas will include Clomitan, Maloney, Okal, Ministries, and Sharpwood and Kaparo. As you continue and you're seeing on the slide, see slide 2. Slide 2. This is a correspondence from the Minister of Works requesting to the Ministry of Food Production, Roads and Development to be carried out in Chabonas West by election. You notice the Minister had signed here, you see a document, this document here represented that. So if you want to slide 3, they say that we don't have documents. Here are the official documents. This is excerpts here of your scene, you're noticing the award of contract to alleviate flooding for the Clomitan farming community, and as was indicated to us under emergency works. So you can see here is that the excerpt that was signed by Dr. Bibi Ali. So they say they claim they don't have documents, and this is one of the documents. So if you want to slide 4, you see award letter. They claim they doesn't know anything about it. Here it is, you have the Minister of Food Production, Dr. Bibi Ali, Thomas George is a farmer here. This is Vision and Mission, the chance, and this is taking place is the URP now program launched at the Mahasabha Street in Felicity on the 23rd of July 2013 in Village of Chabonas West. I can move on to 6. This is a video that was made. So this was the launch here, so you can have a view of it.
Thank you for joining us to our top story. The unemployment relief program has now officially been expanded to include the agricultural sector. Minister of Food Production, Senator the Honorable Devan Maharaj, has formally launched the program in Felicity.
The URP continues to expand as the government aims to streamline the operations of the State Fund program, which provides short-term employment to citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. URP Agriculture is consistent with the program's mandate of enhancing the entrepreneurial skills of individuals and community groups and to assist in the delivery of small-scale projects in various communities.
The Ministry of Food Production developed 3 core services to enrich the lives of approximately 10,000 URP workers. One, the 3-month training program to provide semi-skilled labor for farms, provision of training and infrastructure to agriculture community project under a pilot community supported agriculture program, and now the assistance with the maintenance of infrastructure and farm holding, such as small access roads and waterways, inclusive of irrigation and drainage, which are very much needed in the sector.
Minister.
Okay, one of the other out of this press release here that they developed small projects. So this is where the contractors would have came in here and did works for the government at the time. You want to slide 7? Scope of works. You notice here is a documentation, a scope of works under the Ministry of the Prime Minister, the Office of the Prime Minister. I did notice here. So by post here, you can see the Special Projects Coordinator under URP. You have Thomas George here, Program Manager, and we also have Dr. Baby Ali, who would have signed this document. We move on to the Bill of Quantities. You will notice here the Bill of Quantities where they do the takeout, see how much you have to take out. And this was also signed, as you notice here, by Special Projects Coordinator Thomas George, Baby Ali, Dr. Baby Ali, PS, the Ministry of Food Production, and also PS Ronald Cooper, Office of the Prime Minister. These are the signatories that were on the documents. We want to slide 9. They claim that they didn't know about the project, the PS, and they claim they didn't know about the projects. And here it is, they have Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Food Production, this is Mona Thompson, and this is URP, Joseph John. Visited the site in the Mahasabad, near Mahasabad Street, and these works were the actual works that were done. 80% it was completed at the point in time when they launched, and this was a site visit that she had made, and they are claiming that they were doing anything about the works. So I don't know really, when you look at officials on the site, you need to wonder what it is, really going on, if they don't know that they organize these works. Move on again to slide 10. You notice here the Office of the Prime Minister, Trinidad and Tobago. This document here representing that where URP Program Manager Thomas George would have written to the PS of the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Ronald Cooper, excerpts of it. And as you see here, we underline it here, which were previously approved by you. So they had knowledge of the works that were done, and this was a further continuation for approval completeness. So we move on again in the engineering division of the Ministry of Works, URP. Dated this memo here, dated the 1st of October, and we requested information on projects, and we noticed the information on the line here, right? Was previously approved by Mr. Cooper. This clearly shows that they knew about the projects. So we continue. You notice here, as he said, the listing of projects they have done, it was signed by the same Permanent Secretary who we saw on the site visit, Permanent Secretary, and also the Minister of Food Production, like Devon Maraj you saw on the launch. So they knew about the project, they signed it off. These are the signatures. Watch, this is a budget debate. But listen to the minister.
Made an accusation against me and said that I said something on payroll that there will be nothing for Felicity. Mr. Speaker, I want to put the record straight. Since coming into office in the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Speaker, when we visited at the request of the people of Bokal, particularly the request of the Member of Parliament for Kuva North, and the president and members of the Bokal Village Council, I visited that area, Mr. Speaker. And from the time that I came into office to now, I want to tell you, Mr. Speaker, of what has been completed in Chaguanas West at the request of the people of Chaguanas West. And don't ever go out of emotion for the people of Chaguanas West. When I'm finished, you will see, Mr. Speaker, what is true representation that knows no barriers, and representation that responds to the needs of people. So, Mr. Speaker, in the Bokal area,
ladies and gentlemen, it is very ironic to know that, you know, the minister talk about good completed and boosted and the dumping and what the government is doing. But apparently, the records are straight when it comes to contractors. And they talk about true representation. I think they need to revisit the video and they'll see what is true representation. So as you see here that we have September the 17th, and you notice this was mentioned in the answer report as you see there, right? What have been done. Right? So you can take note of it. Next page. And then we move on here to the central audit. After all that was taking place, the central audit was done. You will notice here there's excerpt here on a recommendation, and we will recommend it to be paid in full. It was signed by these individuals who are auditors from the Central Audit Committee appointed by the Minister to audit the projects. And these same auditors from the state, that payment be made for full works done at all sites apart from the 4 sites for which payments have already been made, and payment for school trees and issue trees be deferred until the further investigation since no work was visible. These were the auditors that audited the Lisport, National Petroleum, National Quarries, NAMDEVCO, Agriculture Development Bank, Education Facilities Company Limited, TP Post, National Insurance Board, EMBD, and DEC. And the show goes on and on. Even down to the First Citizen IPO. Central audit these institutions, and they are not accepting the European law audit. Apparently here, what you see here, these are the qualified auditors, and you see against the name, the ACCA and whatnot. And the government here refusing to accept the recommendation, but they would have accepted all the recommendations from all the previous state agencies. And as you know, this central audit is one of the state agencies that seek into ensure that payments to any state agency payments are disbursed according to the exchequer of Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. So we move on to slide 16. This is a correspondence between Larry Hawaii and myself, and you notice here the contents of it, dated July the 1st, 2014 here. Also you see we have arranged to get that on Tuesday. This is payments to the contractor. And so we move on. As you see here, inconsistency in delayed payments to contractors. This is an excerpt of Minister Hawaii indicating that the process of verification was difficult after 1 year. So after 1 year, they are trying to verify books. Editor Khalifa Klein from the Guardian newspaper, June 2nd. This is what Larry Hawaii had said. You see that it is highlighted here. So we move on. This annex document here signed by Sebastian, a senior engineer. Minister Ramachar wants to audit the projects. Although Mr. Sebastian Edwards, it was extremely difficult to audit since these projects were completed more than 8 months ago. So it go in sync with the Minister of Finance, where he indicated a year ago there were problems to identify the routes, seeing that it was more a flooding mitigation program where you do a lot of the certain routes. We go to the next page. As you see here, it was signed here by the senior engineer active, Sebastian Edwards, and you see this excerpt here. As it noted here, the calculation of payments of this exercise is extremely tedious, as well as to evaluate work that might have also been done. by other agencies, and this was the case in a number of projects visited. However, this was taken into account and included in the initial first draft. So this is part of a report done internally by the Ministry of Works, URP Division, Engineering Section. So we move on there. The most recent here, you see this is the copy of the Hansard report made the first. And here you will notice that the oral questions and answers, you notice it was raised in the Parliament by Mr. Audit. And these are the questions A, B, C, and D. And as we move further into it, you'll notice it's highlighted here. And I can just probably go through here so you'll notice. They noticed there they had approved here 54 million was released from the Ministry of Finance and Economy to accommodate payments. And you realize that there's a portion of it was deducted for payments. So this is the Minister really endorsing a response. And strange enough, we would have $54 million as the approval, and as you know that you must have some sort of documentation to get that money approved, a warrant for that. Also, 95 billion was also approved in 2013. So all we are asking, would it be the contract documents we use to come up with the figure? We are only asking. We don't know the operations of the state. It's a central audit report accepted by the junior minister in the Ministry of Finance and not by the Minister of Works. We are only asking. You notice that the central audit report 2014, and there was a recommendation to make payments. It is not a central audit committee responsible to conduct the audit and make recommendations. We are only asking. We cannot determine that. We have to determine that. So we just ask any questions. So we move on again to slide 22. In front of here, the box area. In the box area we have here, you see reports of the ongoing investigation into URP agriculture projects. And these are excerpted signed by the PS, Vishnu Paul, written to Mr. Isaac James, Permanent Secretary. And you can see correspondence there. And we move on to the next one. This is a response. This was written by PS, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, to Vishnu Paul. You notice the contents have been seen highlighted there. So government claims that they don't have any documents for the URP now projects. They claim they don't have any documents for the URP projects. It is alleged, and these are documents in these bags, shredded documents. We had prior information that documents for these projects were being shredded at the URP head office. We would like to know what is the policy for destroying documents. We applied for these documents under the Freedom of Information Act on the 15th and the 1st, and you see, and the said date, 2015, and to date they have not produced it. Here is the evidence of the alleged shredded documents, and you see the shredded documents in the bags. This is URP head office, as you notice here. We have the label of the building. This is the building. It can't be mistaken and take some garbage by some other official building. This is the official URP headquarters. And as I said, it's alleged, and we are just trying to find out what these documents represent. I think clear that is missing. Gentlemen, in conclusion, it's quite evident that documentation shown in this is sufficient to confirm that this administration is unreasonable and inconsistent with their deliberation. Hence, originally, the small contractors are waiting for the past 2 years of payments. We wish to further advise that as election, our honest contractors will be asked to perform similar tasks, and we are aware conclusions on the rules again. So, what we have, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, what we are seeing here is documentation that we have in our possession, and apparently the state probably had shredded theirs, and we are seeking payments, and we continue to do so vigorously at this point in time. And as you notice on the last, it's on Facebook page, Trinidad Government Contractors, and you can also go there and get most of the information. I invite any questions. Yeah. I just want to reiterate and let the general public know these works are emergency works. And you will look at during election time, there's a heap of emergency works this cover.
And you said the government is claiming that no documentation, they have no documentation for weights. Did you provide your copies to that?
Yes, I provided all the copies. In fact, we all met with the various ministers, and we will produce a pile of documents for them, indicating this is the position, and they claim they don't know nothing about it. They say they'll get on back to us. And we have 2 years now, and we still waiting for them to get back on us.
And when a work is completed at that point in time, is there signing off at that point in time?
Well, that is an internal issue with the department. They're supposed to sign off that. That is without our knowledge. Right? But for our information that we knew, and we saw the URP program manager, the URP deputy program manager, and the AO4, they had visited the site and acknowledged the works were completed. As for documentation, I can't say. They won't have it in their possession.
Because they had made requests for payments.
Any other?
Yes, sir. There's something listening. Who was going to say something? Yes. Just name the mic to you?
Yeah.
Just name the mic.
Yes, the name.
Both mics. Both mics.
Sorry.
Yes,
Can I have your name first?
I am Imraj Sinran from Refuting Mechanical and Engineering Services Limited. The works were completed. As was said before, documentations were provided in all the various areas, including a central audit. Recommendations were made from URP for payment to be made. As a result, we have not heard anything for the past 2 weeks.
To any one of you all, why do you think the government is going back on their commitment to pay?
That is something that they I don't know the reason why. I don't even answer. But as you can see in the slide that we showed you there, right? All the documents were processed for payments. All documents were processed for payments. With the members of the government, officials of the government, it was processed. So as you see earlier on. So I don't know the reason why that they are not accepting recommendation and documents that were put forward for the payments. So you see, what we've seen here probably may have some collusion with the state officials and the minister. So the minister are dictating the pace, I assume, is alleged. That is why we cannot go forward from here.
And how much money would you say is owed to you all combined?
I tell you what, I know that that's correct.
Okay, sorry.
What I can say,
okay, go ahead.
what I can say, yeah, the 6 contractors, 70 projects that we done among ourselves.
And how is it affecting your businesses?
This have been affecting our business tremendously. We are out of pocket. Since this project has started, we would have mortgaged things that we have because they wanted the jobs done in a specified time. We went ahead and take loans from the bank, hoping that within according to the methodology of the award letter that was signed by Dr. Bibi Ali, we were supposed to get a payment in 6 weeks. That is their methodology. And all documentation that in our possession that we could have supplied and said that the work was complete and work was done was submitted to them for payments.
Do you think this group of contractors will be able to might be some reason?
Well, yes, in many ways, because we have not been invited to no projects under the URP or the Ministry of Works, none whatsoever. Never given the opportunity to come into tender for any jobs.
I'd like to expand a little bit on what Danny said, right? What happened is that Minister Hawaii, if you look at the delayed payments email on the board there, on July the 1st, 2014, he said in finalizing the arrangements to commence payments by the Ministry of Works and Permanent Secretary advised that further cabinet approval was required to facilitate payment. We have arranged to get that on Thursday, right? So therefore, every documents were in, payments were being finalized up until July the 1st, 2014. We are in 2015 now. So we have not been paid as yet.
And what's your name?
My name is Diane Prasad
From?
JDR Construction.
So you can see through the documentation, the amount of work have been put in to put these documents together to show the inconsistency by the government in not paying us. And we have suffered tremendous losses, each one of us here that sit on the side. And here just we come back in an election time again. And I am certainly sure there are other contractors with the falsing victims like us to come and do emergency works. And I'm almost certain will not be paid. So we are just appealing to the government to honor their obligations, and if it is a caring government, that we hope that they care for us.
Those documents are government documents or the contractor's documents?
Those documents are the government documents.
Given to us. Last time I saw you all was last year, and you were dropping a letter to the President.
President, yeah.
Mr. Governor,
No response.
did he send you an acknowledgement letter that he received?
Nothing
No
of this level.
response.
You don't know if he's read the letter or not?
What
Well,
of-
if I could just update you a little, right, a little further into it. We have spoken to Dr. Munilal, we have spoken to Vasant Bharat, we have spoken to
Ramadan.
Prakash Ramada, we have spoken to Larry Hawaii. So the list goes on, and we spoke to Jerry Hadid. We reported Dr. Emmanuel George when he is one of the members of the committee appointed to initiate the audit to make sure the jobs were completed, which they did. When they speak to him, he refused to speak to him. And for the Prime Minister of this country, we would have made about 8 attempts to actually try to have an audience with her. And to this date, after this week here, and without any success. But as you can see, all the documentation, it is government of Trinidad and Tobago. And the signatory is also officials of the government of Trinidad and Tobago.
Even the minister signed the document before we got there.
Any other questions? Well, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity thanking you for being here present this morning. It was indeed a pleasure having you. I hope that we will have our next one shortly, where we'll be launching officially, as I mentioned earlier, on the conference. So thank you, and you have a safe journey.